Yeah. Subscribe to the channel. Anton Oligovich was sorting papers in his office. Everything was annoying. The weather outside was nasty, and the income that was increased this month was even less. He could not understand what was going on. His restaurant was located almost in the city center. There are always many visitors. It's not the first year that they work. What's the matter? He opened the door. Alina. Alina? A young woman who had been doing the job of a manager for almost 3 months. She was the one who was doing it, not her. Of course, Anton Oligovich believed that most likely it was her. But he couldn't say anything to her because she received this position precisely for being his mistress. He put her in this position with a certain purpose. Alina should have been both ears and eyes. And the girl, although she was impassible and stupid, but she did a great job with this role. He knew everything about his staff. Who, and when he drank an extra cup of tea, who breathes what, who wants what. Sometimes Alina listened to the conversations of clients that were interesting to him. It's always good to know about wealthy people what others don't know. Yes, Anton Oligovich, you called me. The girl approached him and almost clung to him, but he looked at her in horror. One of the conditions of their connection was that no one knew anything at work. Today, after the closure, no one will leave. There will be a meeting. Alina glared with offended eyes and replied, "Okay, I'll tell you everything." "No, Alina, I won't tell you, but make sure everyone stays." The girl inflated her lips and went into the hall with a graceful walk. Anton Oligovich even licked her dry lips. And the South ended approximately there. When the restaurant closed, the owner went to the hall. "Well, I gathered you today to understand, to find out the reason why the profit is falling." One of the waitresses, a young girl with a strange name Carmen, said, "What is there to be surprised about? Only for my tables, there were 7 returns today." Other waitresses also chatted. "I'm tired of it already. You serve what you get, and we have to listen." Anton looked at Alina. She was a little away and looked at her nails with special attention. Very curious why the owner does not know anything about the return. He turned to the chef. "Semyon Andreevich, what's the matter?" Very impressive size of the man jumped. "What's the matter? And this I wanted to ask you. How can there be delicious cutlets from the minced meat that dogs will not eat? Have you ever heard that a beaver is made of overfrozen meat? Semyon Andreevich, you know very well how expensive the products are. To keep up with the floor and pay all your salary, you have to find something cheaper. But the task of a cook is to be able to cook from what is there." What happened here? Everyone was talking, and waiters and cooks, and even the cleaning lady was screaming that she had to pull out rags from the house. Because Anton Oligovich doesn't care about anything. He listened to it for minutes, and finally he got tired of it. "But okay, so I'm bad at everything. Why? Probably because I close my eyes to what you do. Take, for example, Karina. Tell me, what do you take cutlets and other meat products from the restaurant for? You know that this is for the police. Me? I'm waste. I'm a return. I have a dog shelter next door. They add to their porridge. It doesn't matter. You take someone else's. Or here, Semyon Andreevich, just a few days ago, you fed some half-bombs in my restaurant, and for free. Well, where did you get it from? You all are impudently stealing from me. This month, I will read out to everyone for your mistakes. So don't be sad about the salary. If they manage to cope with the situation, I will continue to count." People spoke in dismay, but Anton Oligovich was already on his way out. Everything was clattering in his chest. He meant work, salary. And they were like, well, nothing. He will come up with something that would not seem like a life hack. They were completely out of control. He was so angry that he left without even waiting for Alina. He remembered her only at home, but decided that it was too late anyway. He will figure it out himself. Anton Oligovich was never married. In his 40s, he had no family, no children. Only such Alanaki changed each other from time to time. Yes, he had a status and the need to go to the reception not alone, but with someone. Young, beautiful girls who accompanied him always made his colleagues envious of him. Anton Oligovich put on a cognac and sat in a chair. Here he is successful, not scary. Everything is with him. He didn't like such empty evenings, because all sorts of thoughts began to climb into his head. He loved once, he loved a beautiful girl, but love for money won. He just betrayed her. He did what no one ever does. She believed him, loved him. The man shook his head. No, this is not to be done. We need to do something. He took the phone and dialed his old friend, who had a big hotel in the city. They agreed to meet in the nearest bar and sit there well. Half an hour later, Anton made an order. And 5 minutes later, Ivan showed up. He looked the best to me. They haven't seen each other for a long time, so Anton asked Vanya, "You're some kind of a rascal? Are you sick?" He waved his hand. "What kind of sick?" Alenka gave up. Anton was pissed. She was like, "You had such a love. Why was it?" "She is. I'm an idiot, spoiled everything. My secretary is new. She is so greasy. You know, like with the cover of the magazine. Sticky, sticky. But I didn't get tired. Well, I thought once, and that's it. And this fool is my wife and has come. Like, let Ivan have love. Can't be." Anton looked at his friend. He wanted to tell him how you could be such a bastard. They all knew his wife. A beautiful woman who gave Vanya a son and a daughter. Not only was she beautiful and smart, but also a beautiful housewife. They all liked to visit his house because you can't try such treats in one restaurant. The daughter studied at school and on the 5th grade. The son also went to kindergarten, but already had a lot of knowledge in some kind of sport. And after all, love was in the family. That attracted guests to their house. Maybe Anton, and they won't stop. You know, Alyanka, did you ask for forgiveness? You ask, almost on my knees. But she doesn't want to listen to me. And she doesn't want to come and to scare me. She has a separate business. Well, what can I say? Let's hope for the best. Thank you, friend. They drank. Then more. Vanya seems to have relaxed a little. Listen, I'm so tired of everything. The workers in the restaurant are completely lost. I have words for them. The profit is falling. Alina doesn't let this step go. Ivan thoughtfully looked at Anton. You need to rest. Go somewhere. With Alina. Although better alone. I would gladly. Only who to set up a restaurant. And in such a state as now. They quickly let me die without a firm hand. I think I can help you. Anton smiled. What? You will become the driver yourself while I am resting? No. I have contacts of one person. She is, how to tell you, like a person who pulls everyone out of the crisis. She has some kind of cool education there, and in a short time she can make the most profitable place. I don't believe it. There are no such people. How else do they exist? Although she takes it, it's not cheap. But the result is %. Listen, it sounds promising. Let's do this. I'll give you the phone number, you'll arrange a meeting, and then when you tell me how she is to you, I'll tell you everything else. What else is there? Well, I wouldn't want to talk about it now. You're intriguing. Anton took the phone number, carefully wrote down the name. Oh, Elvira. And promised to meet her tomorrow. They sat with Ivan politely. He went to ask his wife for forgiveness. Anton went home to sleep. The next day it was so bad that he even closed the curtains in the office. He called Alina to him. She entered, demonstratively stopped far from him. Well, Alina, well, fish, don't blow yourself up. We had urgent business. Alina was silent. I agreed to meet. If everything goes well today, I'll take you to the sea. Alina looked suspiciously. Then she whistled and threw herself at him. At that moment, they knocked on the door. That's it, run. This is probably our savior. Alina let the visitor in and slipped out of the office. We talked quickly. The woman instantly answered any questions, and Anton was convinced that even he was far from her preparation. It seemed that she knew about business and everything, but at the same time she was very strict and correct. Several times Anton Oligovich thought that the face of the woman was somehow familiar to him, but his head hurt very much. And his gaze was not focused. He promised to call again, and the woman left. Anton noted her flawless brooch suit, high heels, and perfect figure. He immediately dialed Ivana's number. Judging by the voice, it was even worse. Vanya, where did you find this miracle? I felt like a student at the exam. He laughed. Not you alone. Remember, last year they wanted to take away my hotel. So, only Elvira helped. Come on. It's just a treasure. By the way, I've already ordered the trip. Wait, don't sleep. What's wrong? Elvira? In general, she was sitting, and her term was not small. In general, she's a former. He didn't care how she would educate his staff here. And if she manages, it doesn't matter who she was in the past. The workers, let them bite the joy of change. Anton went out of the hall. There were not many people. He waved his hand, calling the staff. So, tomorrow me and Alina Andreevna are on vacation. The new manager will be in charge of you. You will do everything she says, and you better not disobey her. This lady has a very criminal past. He saw the confused looks of the employees and just licked. Elvira immediately called again and explained that she could start tomorrow. He will leave all the necessary documents and papers on the table in the office. Early in the morning, they flew to the warm regions with Alina. 3 weeks flew by like one day. Anton called Elvira from time to time. She responded, and he understood that if everything was as she said, then his business in the restaurant is really going downhill. Nobody bothered him anymore because on vacation he took a completely new sim. In the evening, Elvira called and warned that he would arrive tomorrow. Okay, Anton Orgovich, I'll be waiting for you. Yesterday, he made an offer to Alina. She gladly agreed. Yes, stupid but beautiful, and in bed is fire. What else does he need? But he will not be alone. And on the last night before returning, he dreamed of a dinner. She had been dreaming for so many years, and then she was laughing and calling him somewhere. He was following her, smiling stupidly, and then he ran. Eva called him, and then disappeared. On the very edge of the cliff, he did not stop and flew down. He woke up from his own scream. Alina was asleep. He went out on the balcony. Many years ago, he and Eva met in one large restaurant in a very big city. She was the manager, and he was taken by her assistant. Love between them burst out like fire, like an explosion. They had been dating for 3 months and had already decided to get married. But then the great opportunity to take a big meal from the restaurant turned up while the owner was on vacation. Everything could not have been revealed, but for some reason it did. He had 2 options: return the money and lose the job, or not return it, but start his own business, become successful. But I would have to answer to Yevi for the money. He chose the second one. He had no idea what and how it was going on there. He went abroad. There he studied restaurant business for a year, and when he returned, he changed his name and opened his restaurant. Anton and Alina, twinkling with light, went out of the taxi. Weird. The parking lot in the restaurant is completely empty. Even stupid Alina realized that something was wrong. Anton's heart was not well taken. He quickly went to the restaurant. It was empty inside. Elvira was sitting in the middle of the hall behind the table. She was pulling wine from the glass and looking at him with a smile. Hello, caustic. He pulled him like a blow, and Elvira took off her glasses. Anton cooled down. Eva, did you really recognize me? And I thought I would have to introduce myself. But come on, don't be shy. Maybe it's wine? What's going on? Where are everyone? Where are the visitors? And there are no visitors, because there is no one to feed them. I tried very hard to find a good place for each of your employees. You're crazy, you'll answer me. So what am I doing? I answer. All 6 years that I spent behind the bars, I did only that. I imagined this very moment. Anton sat down. Alina was horrified to see Evelyn. She moved a pack of paper to Anton. Here, dear. This is a gift from me. You can count it as a reward. This is a counterfeit. Your restaurant took to organize 2 weddings to very influential people of this city. But it failed. As you understand, you were sentenced to very large money here. This is the decision to close this restaurant as an anti-sanitary. This is from the firemen. Well, in general, you will read everything yourself. You will have a lot of time now, almost like I have in my time. Evelina got up and headed to the exit. She stopped near Alina. Run, girl. When this man has no money, he can betray anyone, even his closest one. Evelina went out and took a deep breath. If you like the story, please support me with the thumb up button. And to find out about the release of new interesting stories, press the bell when subscribing. All the best to you.